When I woke up this morning, I thought to myself, a lovely sunny Sunday, the perfect time to rustle some jimmies. So welcome to my video on 3 survivor perks that I think are overrated, overused, and that need to be totally dropped from the meta. Please note, I don't think that these should be totally dropped from the meta, but I have some criticisms towards their usage that I feel are valid. Please do not unsubscribe, thank you. Sprint Burst! For those of you that don't know, Sprint Burst makes you run at 150% your base movement speed for 3 seconds, applying exhaustion for 40 seconds. It activates whenever you run, provided you aren't already exhausted. Amongst the 7 exhaustion perks, it's widely agreed that which one you take is mostly down to personal preference. Each one has clear advantages over others and plenty of drawbacks too. Take Lithe for example. You technically get to choose when you use it, but it's reliant on the killer being far enough away that you can risk a medium vault or having a direct line to a fast vault that, in most cases, will have granted you an advantage already. Dead Hard technically gives you an additional injury, but when it works or instead leaves you exhausted on the ground is rather inconsistent and not particularly easy to plan around. Yet there are 2 that you can't really control. Adrenaline, the speed boost of which only comes in handy if you're being chased and doesn't guarantee to proc only when you're being chased, and Sprint Burst. Of course, you do control Sprint Burst, but to have any degree of control over it relies on you walking everywhere. Now, I know the Nancy perk Fixated allows you to walk 20% faster, but that's 2.71 meters per second rather than 4 meters per second, meaning that you're moving between objectives at 68% the speed everyone else is. So, bam, issue number 1. You aren't contributing to your team as much because you're having to walk everywhere. But let's say that that isn't the case, and Sprint Burst doesn't alter your speed getting between objectives. Another issue arises. When you're in a chase, you get a boost right at the start, and in the majority of cases, won't be getting another speed boost for the rest of the chase. Unlike literally every other exhaustion perk that offers you an advantage in the middle to end portions of a chase, you're stuck with no help. Which is dumb, because you've traded that option to gain a little bit of distance right at the start of the chase. Sprint Burst usefulness is therefore rendered completely moot by just paying attention to your surroundings. It only ever comes in handy if you're out of position and jump scared by the killer, unlike literally every other exhaustion perk which can be used tactically. It also seems to be used to avoid chases rather than gain an advantage in them. If you're avoiding chases, then you're obviously bad at them, and if you aren't experiencing any, then you aren't ever going to get better at them. So, yeah, that's why I think Sprint Burst is overrated and overused. Spine Chill. When I mentioned that I think Spine Chill is overrated on stream, people were less than thrilled with me. I get it, it's a great counter to stealth killers and a great way of knowing when the killer is headed your way. 1 second though. If you're looking at the bottom right corner of the fucking... That was so condescending. I don't want to include that. If you're looking at the corner of your screen for intel rather than just, like, looking around and above the generator, then why not just look at the center of the screen instead and choose a different perk? Spine Shield becomes a reliance, and it's very often that you see new players start to use it, get stuck, use it, and carry it with them even thousands of hours later into the game. They're completely unable to enter a trial without it, as they've spent all of their time relying on it rather than learning how to watch their surroundings, so when the killer, even a stealth killer, is headed towards them. Spine Chew is completely useless when you learn how to do this and acts as a barrier for those who still need to learn how to do this. It's effective at every rank, so you see it right from rank 20 all the way through to rank 1, but it's never offering an advantage that you can't otherwise ascertain by just being more observant. Okay, it also offers a 6% speed boost to various actions, including vaulting, which would be useful in chases, but 6% isn't really enough to make a significant impact, as demonstrated here. Spine Chill was base kit for me for the longest time, perhaps even the majority of my 1,300 hours in this game. I occasionally still take it even, but I'm aware that doing this too often gets me stuck in a habit of reliance. There are better perks that will have a greater impact if you just take off the Spine Chill training wheels and learn how to observe your environment. Self-care. Do I really need to explain this one? Still, at red ranks, you see it used by survivors, hiding off at the side of the map for half a minute to heal themselves rather than actually contributing to the team. Self-care, in a word, is selfish. It's for selfish players who struggle to work with their team. That often isn't the fault of their teammates either, as I've noticed a pretty significant link between self-care usage and toxicity. Toxicity, in my opinion, affects both killers and good survivors in very similar ways, where you just generally try and avoid that player if you can. Endless words have been said about self-care, but here's the crux of the problem. It's twice the amount of time it takes to be healed by another survivor, and in that time, you're doing absolutely nothing. Even moving between objectives is more useful in those lost 16 seconds than just sitting still healing yourself. You're also wasting a perk slot, perhaps two if you're using it in conjunction with botany knowledge, and I can't count the number of times I've gone down a hook phase or died because another player on my team was self-caring rather than actually doing anything useful. The argument I often hear is, I'm low rank and you can't trust your teammates at low rank. And while that may be true, I don't think it really stands beyond rank 20. 20. Your teammates by rank 19 will hopefully have a baseline understanding of what they're meant to be doing and will more than likely heal you when needed. I know, because when I was under 100 hours, I would take self-care every single game. It becomes a reliance, a distraction from the objective and chases, and your teammates all hate you for using it. All of them. Despite all this being pretty clear and obvious, and the majority opinion being that self-care is bad, it's still used constantly. I don't get it! At rank 1, I see people use self-care all the time, and why? Just take a med kit. Cheers. This game is all about timing, etc. And, you know, everything else I said in my self-care sucks, here's why video, which, although is a little bit dated compared to my style now, is still worth checking out if you aren't convinced on my opinion here. Okay, let's be real and drop all pretense of hyperbole and other words that you might find in a thesaurus. None of these perks are actually bad. Oh, I know. They will have specific useful application. Sprint Burst is great for juking killers like Bubba into using their chainsaw at the wrong time, potentially causing them to throw tantrums, making them waste tons of time. Spine Chill is pretty much an instant counter to all stealth killers while still coming in handy against non-stealth killers. Self-care is a perk that exists. JRM uses it, and he's good, so maybe it's okay, and I'm just too small brain being only Devotion 5. Within this community, I think that we get unstuck by wanting to correct each other's playstyle. It's something that I encounter on an almost daily basis on Twitch and YouTube, and heck, it's something that I engage in regularly myself. Like in this video, for example. It's important to remember, however, that each one of us is still learning. We're all still growing and adapting, and it's a mistake in life to think that you're the final finished product. You aren't yet the full sum of who you will one day grow to be, and we're all on that journey together. The young, the old, the wise. As Proverbs 1:5 tells us, let the wise hear and increase in learning, and the one who understands obtain guidance. Today's question comes from Sergeant Skittles55, who asks, can we get a setup/life tour? Okay, so basically we got, here's a monitor. Here's another monitor that has Streamlabs on it. And also this camera is usually up there on a tripod, but it's not right now. Cable management. Oh, it's awful. This is an SM7B that's plugged, and that's plugged into a Behringer UMC 404 HD. There's a softbox. There's another softbox that's currently on. And this is the laptop that I edit videos on because the M1 is freaking nutty and edits videos better than this baby. It's Ryzen 9, 16 gigabytes of RAM. Protect the hum. I like a guitar and a synthesizer. Francesca sewing machine. Welcome to my vlogging channel. Someone asked for a setup/life tour, so this is my fiance Francesca.
Hello YouTube. That's what I do if you want to try something.
What's your idea?
Make us look really shifty and you can do a tour and I can be like running in front of you hiding things.
That would work, but I think it would work better if I just had you saying that in the video.
So you're just going to include what I've just said in the video?
Yeah.
And not actually make me do it?
Yeah.
Well, I'd have to move then.
Yeah. Guitar. MIDI controller, keyboard. Kitchen, washing up. Kitchen. Bread. Massive pineapple. Look at this. I need like a thumb for scale. It's massive. Just thinking if I record enough footage, I'll be able to edit it down to like 60 seconds of funny. Yeah, if you have any Destiny pins, that's her favorite. So DM me if you have any Destiny pins. DM me on Twitter. Slide into my DMs. Jumper. Hoodie with my company logo on it. Is that enough? If I satiated your need, Sergeant Skittles, is that enough, or I'm out of focus? Have I satiated your need, Sergeant Skittles? Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. Twitter.com/Twitter. Oh, I got a Stream Deck. Woo! Before I jump to the credits screen, I just wanted to thank everyone for the subs recently. We're fast approaching 10k, and that's honestly an insane number. There'll be a special video when we do hit that number, but I wanted to just say a big old thank you to all of the recent subs. Oh, also, I made a video game, and it's on Steam, and you might like it. It's called Brawl Quest, and it's a 2D MMORPG about hitting stuff, mining stuff, crafting stuff, building stuff, and generally vibing. Link is in the pinned comment. I'll be doing a proper video on it soon that'll get like 400 views, so look out for that. But in the meantime, I made a video game, and you might like it, or you might not like it, and that's fine too. As well as the names on screen right now, I'd like to thank my patrons, Spikio Pro and Pigeon Toast, as well as Jen Rush's Club and Ms. of the Entity members, Lewis Hernan, Merciless Cheeseburger, Santi Gamer, Spikio Pro, Alia E, and Joshua Daney. Would you like to support the channel and I've been real bad at delivering on the other perks, but I'm doing my best. Okay, so why not join the channel or become a patron? I would love you forever and ever and ever, and I will promise you things that I don't deliver on, but I'm trying. I'm sorry. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Jimmy's hopefully rustled. This isn't a troll video. That makes me sound like this isn't a troll video. These are genuine opinions of mine, but I'm aware that people are going to be upset by them because people were upset when at the mere suggestion of me saying. But never mind. It being funny / weird is the intended effect, so I'm glad that is the impact it had on him. I am freaking... Where did you come from?